Alright, here we go. This is a 1v1 rank match on Duel between the blue player in the upper left-hand corner, Punktronica in the Steampunk Osprey, and his opponent, the red player in the bottom right-hand corner, Turkleton, in the Pumpkin Saucer. And we do have a Saucer on Duel by an extremely high-ranked, high-skilled player, and against another one, against an Osprey, which is typically at this moment at this state of the game, is pretty much the preferred meta mech for 1v1 especially, and most teams do still need an Osprey, especially because of the artillery heavy state of the game right now. But however, because this is on Duel, we will see a potential shifting of the of the power in mech types, just because once it hits level 7, things gonna get ridiculous. And we do see defenses going down by both players. Turk doing a quick scout on Punktronica, and he is going to start with Longhorn coming out. We do not see any anti-air on Punktronica's side, so this could be really, really bad for Punktronica if he leaves anything alone whatsoever at all. And he is just chilling out on top of his outpost. Okay, now he's starting to move out. He is starting to put artillery out. But once Turk hits level 2, he is going to get free Archies all day. And now starting to bring his tanks over toward the mid, and right now Punktronica is still queuing up artillery and putting even more defenses on his outposts. I guess he's really, really worried about those infantry drops, or whatever drops that Turk might be able to do with that Saucer and with that Blink. He does decide to go with the Blink first, so he doesn't have Abduct immediately. But right now it's really not 100% necessary, as the fight is going to be for mid right now, and he probably will be able to hit level 3 before things start getting too intense. He does drop enough probes to take this, however, for probably a very short amount of time. But having that mid outpost, and he is dropping. He was queuing up probes, but does not get to drop any defensively yet. And, enough creeps walk in for Punk for him to take it for now as well. But once again, the mid fight for pretty much every map that has neutrals surrounding it just pretty much goes back and forth because of the mass concentration of units that really happen right at the beginning of the game. And we do have a Longhorn moving out for Turkleton. I'm not really sure. I think that was probably a misdrop or a misclick. And we do see him be able to take this outpost, but with all the artillery that Punk already has firing in, there are already 4 Archies in here. Turkleton already has a level 3 though, so he will be able to start abducting things, and he does have some Longhorn coming out. I'm not really sure if he's going to be able to use these to either abduct something or to he is starting to drop some bombs, but he does not have boosters, so he will not be doing the normal booster sauce play we do see favoring a lot of the saucer players nowadays. But he is just shooting up the units over here, taking out a little bit of artillery, and Punk trying to do what he can to defend here, which will be very, very easy for him, as he also has Longhorns in his loadout, not Dillos. So Turk, with this small amount of time, has been able to kill a lot of artillery, actually, and has pretty much cleared the artillery that Punk is sitting over here. And Punk is not going to be able to contest this outpost very much anymore, because Turk has been able to kill the majority of his artillery. And actually, Turk is going to start doing a little bit of abduct harass. He does have level 1 blink, level 2 abduct, so it will be pretty quick. He's just going to go from unit to unit to unit. Punk's just going to have to follow him around because of that abduct being such a threatening technique. He is going to start going for artillery. Punktronica does not see him here, so he probably should suspect him of doing something a little bit weird. But he does grab an Archie, and he probably will just continually go for more Archies, which he is actually doing, because obviously they are 100% free. While he has units building, he can be abducting, and Punktronica does see that Archie on the ground. That is the first artillery he does see, because Turk does not actually have any artillery in his loadout. He is going with the bombs instead of the artillery for the AoE damage on his on his side, which you do see a lot of players doing. And he does have a full queue of Longhorn out. He is not pulling them out at all, so Punktronica doesn't see it coming. And once Turk is already level 4, Punk is level 5, so he is a little bit ahead on the levels, because I guess he's just spamming heal a lot just so he can get that attack from or just so he can get that experience. But we do see a push coming out from Punk. Turk is going to be able to stop this pretty easily, I do think, because he is going to have the defender's advantage and is dropping bombs. Will I would have expected more Longhorn to be positioned over here, especially the two that he had, one that he has right here and one that he has right here, to be just put over here as more of like a wall. But punktronica doing a great job microing things around. A little bit under fire from Turk, but not going to be able to be killed. It is going they are just going a lot further because he has set a lot of them on Y and not T, so they are not stopping. But Punk is doing a really good job picking them up and microing each of them around. He probably will be able to take this outpost actually, even though Turk is dropping tank after tank. There is only one bulb up left. It does go down to neutral. There are a lot of surrounding Longhorn for both players actually, but well, Punk has the surround and Turk has this concentration on this side. But Punk with that heal will be able to keep a lot of Longhorn alive. Turk brings some probes down, but he has not been able to take it. And this red probe from punktronica is actually a Longhorn. Nice replay there, glitchy replay there. But however, the Turk has been able to retake this outpost and is not really dropping anything else. He does just have a defensive probes, and he hasn't actually been able to drop them yet. But he is starting to abduct, which is exactly what I would expect him to do after he did just get that kill on punktronica. So with no more defensive units left here for punktronica eventually, because Turk is going to be able to grab these two tanks. I mean, if he chooses to do so, as he is not. So Punk is actually healing them up. He picks two of them up. So he is going to be. He doesn't keep them over in this area. He does drop two. Oh, he does just bring them over to heal them up a little bit more. One does get saved, and he's going to place it back here, but it does get killed by the other tank. And now Turkleton is actually gaining the favor in this middle outpost area as well. Now he does have control of it. Almost taking Punk down on the way back there, but not quite close enough. Dropping bombs now instead of queuing up a defense. Oh, but he does have Longhorn queued up and is going to try to kill this tank from the back. And you know, with that blink, it's just so powerful. He's not going to be able to be killed by Punk anytime soon at all, just because he is a blink saucer and Punk is the Osprey. And pretty much Turk, all he has to do at this point is hold down until level 7. You just need to hold down to level 7, and once he hits level 7, it's gonna be pretty much GG with all of those Goliaths that he has to pick off. That he can just choose to pick off, and does get punktronica there. After Punk does that 4 Drackle drop, he probably will be able to get this, even though there are a lot of defensive probes going down for Turk. Oh, but actually he does drop a Rebel over here, which will draw the fire from these Jackals, and the Jackals will not be able to finish off this outpost. He does reposition it really close, queuing on more defensive probes, and now punktronica has no choice but to go for this middle outpost. If I were him, maybe he probably should have gone for this outpost that Turk has, but actually almost getting killed again because this one is only defended by 2 Jackals and a Longhorn. So on the far side, it would have been pretty much just contested by a single Rebel. But as of now, he has been able to neutralize the middle outpost. Turk will be able to retake it, but just because of all that control that he has now, queuing up Goliaths, it has more Rebels coming out for defense. He is starting to push out, and I do not see a way back for Punk at this point. This is just really bad because Turk has already hit level 7. He has Goliaths in his loadout, although Punk does as well. Turk will be able to get some. He already has level 2 abduct. He has a bunch of unspent ability points, but once he decides to spend them, he definitely spend 1 on abduct, and he will be able to grab Goliath in like 10 seconds, give or take, something like that. But yeah, wow. Okay, Punk does grab that Longhorn before Turk is able to abduct it, but he is just continuing to do that abduct, staying on the ground. I'm not really exactly sure why. Well, I guess because he was under fire from Turk, and actually does get taken out by Turk again, and this is pretty much a lost outpost now. All Turk has to do is just abduct and micro around, abduct and ferry it around so he can keep each Goliath alive. And he is doing just that. It's still under fire from that other Goliath, but Punk still hasn't come back to the battlefield yet. He is just respawning now, and he does save that 1 Goliath, although I'm not really sure if that's really going to do that much. Now Turk is going to, he does save this 1 Goliath, but is under heavy fire from punktronica, is not, not able to save that Goliath before punktronica gets it on the ground there, but it's still an extreme advantage for Turkleton right now. He does sell off a Goliath. I'm not exactly sure the purpose of that. Maybe he's... I'm not really sure, but he that was one of the ones he sold, and he is actually, he's selling off for a Bertha, so he could make that Bertha, and he is actually, he's abducting a Jackal, and although Punk was heavily under fire, regen enough on the ground there to be able to get up and not get killed by Turk on the way back to his outpost. Then we do see a Bertha out on the field for Turkleton. punktronica also has Berthas in his loadout as well, but he hasn't produced any yet. He is going to go for this push here with Goliaths, and it's not. And he has one Longhorn there, and it is under attack from Turk again, and does get it. Turk does get that abducted, and that Goliath is just completely lost. And the one next to it is pretty much lost as well. Once you have 2 Goliaths in an area and your opponent abducts 1, then well, you're kind of screwed, because it went from a 2 Goliath advantage to a 0 Goliath advantage at that point. Turk again stealing another Longhorn from Punktronica, going to the front door with this. He will be able to drop Punk away from the battlefield, especially because we are now in halftime. We are during the halftime heal. If you know, he's gonna be Punk is gonna have to deal with this if he wants any credit boosts whatsoever. He lifts off just a little bit early, and I guess he's just leaving the rest of it to his creeps to kill. But he was trying to save that Goliath from Turkleton, but does not get it in time. And Turk just doing a really great job microing stuff around. Once he hit level 7, he was able to start abducting Punk's Goliaths, and it is pretty much not gonna be. I do not see a way back for Punk at this point anymore. He is again heavily under fire from Turk, and he just needs to save this one Goliath, but almost gets killed by Turkleton right there. Is taking fire from that Goliath and had to hide behind that other one, but Turk with a great land and does finish off Punktronica, and now we have 2 Goliaths for Turkleton at this point. At the front door now, we are at the end of halftime heal, so Punk is not getting any more credits at all, and Turk is just going to go wave after wave of Goliath after abduction to be able to take this match, and he is still attacking the front door. There is only one Longhorn here to defend, and Punk, desperate to get blocks off, is forced to drop Longhorn instead of making Goliaths, and he is selling off the levelers that he put down, but now Turk, oh god, he is just taking Goliaths. Oh god, this is gonna be ugly. He is queuing up Goliath in his build queue, and he's queuing up and he's stealing Goliaths from the neutrals. At this point, all Punk has is a Longhorn army and a couple of money makers generating credits for him, which is nowhere near the 12,000 for, what is it, 12,000 credits over 10 seconds generated for Turk by stealing this Goliaths. And because he has map control, he has this outpost, and he has the middle outpost as well, and all that up. Now Punk doing a quick scout, seeing that, oh man, Turk has already taken all those Goliaths, and now he's taking the Goliaths on this side as well. If he had that booster, he would have been able to grab these Goliaths much faster. But I mean, look at this army. There are 8 free Goliaths on the map that Turk is probably going to be able to grab, all in the course of like a minute and a half, and he is not stopping. He's just going for more and more Goliath, and even though Punk queues up as many as he possibly can, I'm pretty sure, it's something like 10 or 12 seconds to steal a Goliath. I don't exactly remember. I did count one time, but it's just ridiculous fast. It takes longer to build the Goliath than it does to abduct the Goliath. So literally, just abducting right now, what Turkleton is doing is literally making him credits faster than you can build. That doesn't actually make sense, but however, since you want to make out of it, that's what this abduction is actually doing for Turk. Punk is not bringing this Goliath out of queue just because he's waiting for this moneymaker, and every second you don't have that on the field is just that much more power, but it's not really going to do anything for Punk right now. Turk does see this big wall of Goliaths, but now sending like 40 Goliaths. That is an obvious exaggeration, but you get the picture. There is an unreasonable amount of Goliaths here. Accidentally drops one in the bunker, but you know what? Whatever, man. This is. I mean, if you wanted to say see a train of doom at all, this is it. This is a humongous cluster of Goliaths, and Punk only has 6 at his fort here. This outpost is gone. This outpost is gonna be gone, and we do see. I mean, Punk is just sitting here waiting for death to be at this point. He only has 8,000 credits, and he does sell off those moneymakers, so he can queue up another Goliath. Those moneymakers would have been dead to begin with, and he is putting a forward-facing, a front Goliath, a lead Goliath, to tank as much damage as possible, so he can heal up what he can, because using that Osprey. But that first one already going down. So many Goliaths. Look at how many Goliaths there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Goliaths. And I can swear that there are more coming. No, whatever. I mean, look at this humongous massive Goliaths, and look how fast Punktronica's life is going down. This is a game that will go to Turkleton. Turkleton does take this ranked 1v1 match on Duel, and wow. 4 kills for Turkleton, 1